Harlem Globetrotters.
Man, they were exploding. Agreed. That was a top line, and they were performing like top line for the majority of the season.
Yeah. Very entertaining to watch.
Yeah. Very. Lindholm's kind of gone cold. He has that great release, and his shots were going in, but lately seems to be more saves on his shots or miss the nets. But we saw the potential.
Yeah, and hopefully they're just saving it all for the playoffs.
All right, next one, Truffle Hunter 89. The comeback win versus Philly, where we got 2 goals in 30 seconds and 1 in OT.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was unexpected. It hadn't really been our third period comebacks were a thing, but like scoring under the last minute, not really.
Yeah, like how many years do you have to watch to see that type of comeback? Like you always think it's possible, like you just shoot it in twice. It's not that hard, but to actually see them pull it off, yeah, pretty spectacular. And we got a coach fired, so that was great. Okay, next one here is Tord Björglund wrote, my favorite part of the season was when Tkachuk became the mayor of Edmonton on November 17th.
Now, I remember this one. You have to...
It was the time Calgary was playing Edmonton. Edmonton was winning the game, or maybe it was tied, and Tkachuk was doing his thing, agitating. I think he hit McDavid, and then Lucic tried to fight him. Or not Lucic, the other big guy they have. Cassian. And Tkachuk turtled. So why would I fight him? Cassian got an extra penalty. We scored. It flipped the whole momentum of the game. So that was a classic
I do remember
moment.
that Cassian, yeah. Right on. Unholy Goalie 42 wrote, all the absurdity, high-scoring games felt like I was a kid again watching from the 80s and 90s. Boom. We touched on it all years.
Yeah, exceptionally high offense.
Third period goals was 109. Goal differentials in third period plus 55.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous stats. And I think we're second right now in the league in goals for.
Yeah.
And at home we're averaging like 4 goals a game. It's just ridiculous stats.
I said before and I'll say it again, having strong third periods really helps with the amount of hockey watching I do. Because, you know, things aren't going your way. You're like, oh, well, there's always third period.
Yeah, there's always hope. And another form of hope, even when the top line's not going, you have Tkachuk's line. And Tkachuk is a star in his own right. So you know he could have a 3-point game, a 4-point game. And then even depth on the third and fourth line. So it was just, you never felt like you were out of the games because our offense was so explosive. Okay, this next one is Just Chippy in Ya Babe. Interesting name. His highlight was being able to chirp every snowbird from Edmonton out there with 100% confidence and authority. Priceless. Yeah, ruling over the Oilers is so great.
Yeah, man, but that's speaking to be overplayed. It feels like ruling over any other Canadian team at this point. That feels good to me.
I remember how cocky the Edmonton fans were when they made the playoffs 2 years ago. They had McDavid, they had Draisaitl, they thought Cups were on the way. So now to be not just better than them, but like undisputedly dominating them, I think it is priceless.
All right, I'll drop one more. Watching Riddick evolve into Big Save Dave. Then Smith getting confidence and some swagger back later on season. But I think Riddick's evolution into potentially the main guy was a little more fun than seeing Smith shit the bed but then come back to being good.
Yeah, definitely. I love Dave Riddick. He's just such a happy, jolly guy, emotional on the ice. He kisses the posts when he gets a post. When Hanifin got hit in the head, he ran out there like he was genuinely concerned. And then, of course, his cheers in overtime when we're going down on a breakaway and he's already cheering in the net. It's you know, it's not gloating or anything. It's just pure emotion, and that's so contagious to watch. And I can give one too. Besides the purple Gatorade, which is...
Oh, that was fun. Yeah,
that was fun.
a good moment.
I really loved watching our depth players, including the fourth line. And, Matt Japani, I didn't know much about him. I really like him as a player. I really liked Hathaway since he came up last year. And Derek Ryan.
Yeah.
I started the season really skeptical on him, and now I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Definitely the most skilled as a setter-upper on the fourth line. But I've been thinking about Hathaway lately, and he's been grinding it out in the AHL for a long time. Flames called him up a couple times. We've seen his face for the past 3 years being called up, not really doing much, but going out there working hard. And this is the year that he's kind of broken out. I think he's got 11 goals, 8 assists.
Yeah, I think you're right. He has around 11. And playing with some skilled guys.
Yeah, and showing he can keep up with them. And good on you, Hathaway. That's a feel-good story right there.
Yeah. Any other highlights you have this year, or does that about cover it?
Yeah, it's fun going through all of that because it's true. It reflects pretty much everything I want to say right there.
And how, me and you have both been watching the Flames for 30-some years. How would you rank this season? Just regular season. Forget playoffs and something. How would you rank this regular season from 1 to 30?
Number 1. There it is. I mean, finishing potential top 2 in the entire league. If they win out against Edmonton and Boston loses out against, I think it's Tampa Bay, then we locked in at number 2. Really, the only other good year on memory is, Hartley's first year. Gio and Brody paired up, Monahan and Goudreau come onto the scene.
Yeah. Very, very similar in that we came back in a lot of games. The one season I think about... just regular season, because the playoffs was not great, but right after the lockout, I think we finished 3rd overall. We were first in our division, and back then the top 3 were ranked 1, 2, 3, and we played Anaheim in the first round and lost. But I remember that season, we were quite a strong team. Yeah. So I remember that up there, but I agree with you. This is, in terms of regular seasons, this is the best I can remember.
Well, to be honest, it's been the most focused I've been on the team in my entire life. Having a podcast helps.
Yeah, forces you to watch it every game. But I know you're also very focused on what's happening outside of the Flames. Should we take a look around the league?
All right. Looking around the league, besides the Flames having a great season, you can't overlook Tampa Bay, who's having almost one of the best in the NHL history. Record-breaking season. Yeah. I think they're too shy. So if they win their next game against Boston, they will tie the top. I can't remember the top. I think it was in the 80s. We saw this stat before. Fuck it.
We know it's really good.
We know what's good. And what's good is Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah.
125 points to date.
It's a ridiculous amount of points. I think it's 126 now.
126.
Yeah.
He's been playing great. His whole team, Stamkos.
Point.
Hedman on D. Vasilevsky in net.
It's a team that really has no obvious weakness.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm of a culmination of great players playing really great. There it is, man. So as high it is to be on the Flames, Tampa Bay is by far the Stanley Cup favorite.
Yeah, and Kucherov has 86 assists, and he'll be the first player to average more than an assist per game since Sedin did it in 2009-2010. So, it's pretty impressive. It's been 8 or 9 years since that's happened.
Joe Thornton, he had a terrible season last year on San Jose, but this year comes back. He passes Steve Yzerman in assist leaders, 1,064.
Yeah, Jumbo Joe can pass, and this year they got him in a good spot on the third line.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get about 50 points this year, so yeah, good for him. He's starting to look his age, especially with the beard. Like, I couldn't stop thinking he looks kind of like a gold prospector from the early 1900s. Yeah. Like he leaves the game wearing a barrel or something. But I love Jumbo Joe, so I'm glad to see him. Doing good.
Right. Jordan Binnington has been a great story for St. Louis. I don't really care too much about St. Louis, but it's fun to watch him.
Yeah, rookie goalies are always fun.
Yeah. All right, Crosby, Ovechkin, they're still in the league, still performing at a high level. I know, Nate, you're a Crosby guy. I've always been an Ovechkin fan. And what do we have here? They are tied for career points?
Yes, but Ovechkin is like a tank. He never misses a game. Crosby has missed huge portions of seasons, a lot of times. So they're even in career points, but I think points per game probably leans Crosby's direction.
They entered the league same year or 1 year difference?
I think it was 1 year difference.
I think it was 1 year difference.
But I have to say, Crosby, I think, is the best player of his generation.
He makes other players around him better to a higher extent than Ovechkin. Ovechkin gets 50-goal seasons for the last 9 seasons.
That's what I was going to say, is that in terms of goal scoring, I think Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer ever. And I heard that he's only 200 back of Gretzky's record. And Gretzky played in the 80s where he'd score like 96 goals a season. So it's just incredible that Ovechkin, especially like now the NHL has opened up a bit offensively, but most of his career was a very defensive league, and he still has scored that many goals.
All right. For me, notable team performances would be that of the Islanders. Barry Trotz comes in, really takes an average team to a higher level. Leonard and Grice played great all season, and now they're fighting Washington, I think, for top in their Met. Yeah,
I can pull up the stats here, and we can see. I know they're battling with them, but I think the latest, Washington has clinched it now. So Washington has 104, and New York Islanders have 101, and Pittsburgh has 99, but Pittsburgh will lose in the tiebreaker. So the Islanders have guaranteed themselves second.
Pretty good. Must say, it was unexpected.
Very unexpected. I pictured them to be at the bottom of the league. And, I love cheering for an underdog, so I'll probably be cheering Islanders until they get knocked out in the first round.
Speaking of underdog and getting knocked out first round, Hurricanes, Carolina, first time they're making the playoffs in, what is it, 12 years?
It's been a while.
Since Brendan Moore was a player.
Yeah, I have from Comment Board Hero Research, I have some additional comments. And since we're talking about Carolina, I should bring out what Count Nugula said. And he said, the last time the Canes made the playoffs, I hadn't graduated high school yet, and my phone was an LG chocolate.
I never even heard that shit.
But yes, it's been a while.
Our farm boys, Hamilton and Ferland, didn't hear too much about Ferland. He might be injured. He's been going in and out of that. Hamilton, he's been producing. I saw like 18 or 19 goals this season.
He's the top pairing D. I think he has problems staying motivated the whole season, and I heard he likes museums, but I think he's a good player.
Other than that, Montreal, they had me for a while. It's too bad they're not making the postseason, but I think they performed better than expected. For me, it was a lot like the Islanders, just a team playing with a lot of emotion for each other and winning for a large stretch of the season. Really going cold at the end. It's tough to see, but shit happens.
But they're not out yet. They have 94 points.
That's right. They're tied with Columbus.
But Columbus has 2 games left. Montreal has 1 game left. And Columbus wins the tiebreaker. So
yeah, man, a stroke of luck. I'm pulling for you, Montreal.
Basically, Montreal, they can get maximum 2 more points, and Columbus can get maximum 4 more points. But Columbus just needs basically 2 to clinch. So any win or 2 ties for Columbus, they're in.